better than the gap. And number 68, It's Crazy Stupid Love. Welcome to Long Play Video. Welcome into Long Play Video. It's another Sunday night. We're going. We're working in the weekends now, just trying to make up the money from another quiet week.
Restocking the shelves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like to download. We'll get all of these videos back on the shelves from being rented, and then we'll put on a movie. And today's is number 68 on the list. Crazy Stupid Love. I know,
Great.
Just a perennial favourite of yours, Kev. So we've brought in our resident comedy expert back after a strong showing on Airplane. Not a bit less of a romantic comedy Airplane, although obviously there is a love interest in there. Zoe, welcome back into the store.
Oh, hi guys! Thanks so much for having me. It's good to be back.
Yeah, you come in for a strong one. This is, I think this is the movie probably that Kev's been most excited to see on the list so far. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely fair. I mean, obviously, you know the list, Andy, and this makes sense. You know, we've just gone through a pretty dry spell, and it's been tough going. But no, yeah, I'm a Gosling fan, so and I do like this film, but I'll be interested to see, like, when we talk about it, if we think it still stands up. But I really love this. Yeah.
Well, as we are restocking the shelves, Zoe, what film have you brought back in for us to check back in?
Yes, so this one I was surprised I could rent that early because it only came out last year. But it's called Anyone But You. It's also a rom-com.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Who's in it?
So Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. So it was okay. I wouldn't go overboard. It was an easy watch, but also not. It's not like any of the chick flicks you saw in the 90s. Put it that way.
They just don't make them like they used to.
No, She's All That. It's just one of the best ever, which is in my opinion, and it wasn't anything on that.
We're still waiting for you to return that. You're just keeping hold of that DVD.
£27.80 in late fees. Still. Well, that's it. Oh, so it's a double rom-com situation.
Yeah. I think it was the week.
I mean,
yeah,
the dream where everyone always wants.
A double rom-com weekend. Well, obviously rom-coms aren't a thing anymore for some reason. And so we have to go back to 2011, 13 years ago. For Crazy Stupid Love, which is a bit surprising, or was a bit surprising for me.
Yeah. So we need to stop doing that. Maybe we need to add 10 years on so that we don't feel as bad.
Yeah, that's funny because I actually looked at the Anyone But You, and they're not calling it a rom-com like you said, and it's got 6.1 out of 10 as well. So it makes you wonder whether it's worth watching. Well, I mean,
definitely doesn't sound like it's worth watching. With your review,
we might stick with the classics.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Crazy Stupid Love. So what? Sorry, have you seen this film before? Do you know this film?
I saw half of it a few years ago, so I'm ready.
You've not seen the whole film?
Which half?
The first half.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the best bit.
I mean, I think I watched Airplane in half last time, didn't I? As well. Yeah, I think that's the thing.
You watched it in two. Yeah, wow. Well, you're in for a treat when you see the second half.
Where did you see it? Where did you see up to? And what do you remember about it?
I think the guy's going through a divorce, isn't he? The one what's his name now? He's hilarious.
Steve Carell.
Yeah, that's it. And then Ryan Gosling takes him shopping for all nice clothes and then teaches him how to be
I don't think you could say that. Oh yeah, no, I thought you were going to say shopping for something else.
Oh,
Spoilers. And
Yeah,
2024.
yeah, 2020 was like that's not acceptable.
and then Ryan
Closure.
Gosling gets with Emma Stone, and they have that moment where she's like, "Are you Photoshop?" That's like the quote of the film in my
Yeah.
eyes. But let's
Yeah.
see. I mean, I've not seen the second half.
Okay, so you've
So
seen it
just
sort of
to
up to a pinnacle scene, but then not
yeah,
past it. Okay, interesting. I mean, yeah, we'll try and avoid spoilers, but
no
I mean,
spoilers.
everyone who listens to the pod, I'm fairly sure has seen this film.
Yeah.
Well, this is the weird thing. I think I might have seen it all the way through, but I just can't remember anything past that, really.
Great, that's good. So your overriding memory was Ryan Gosling's super stylish, and then he's got rock hard abs. Good. Really,
It's like
really got into the romance of this story.
Just,
selective memory.
just everyone's
Yeah,
here for the
yeah,
abs. That's it. That's it.
yeah.
So
Oh, funny.
but it's really interesting. So we have two
Yeah.
different versions of this movie, and
Mm.
we have two different DVDs that I
Yeah.
will pass across, to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
to show you the difference in actually like how they maybe marketed this film.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because yeah, when you look at these, one of them looks a lot more very rom-commy, and the other one, the special edition, looks a little bit a little bit different. It's a little bit more of an adult version. Yeah, I don't know how, having seen the film, that the special edition one, which is basically, yeah, where we were listed, it's basically Steve Carell lying back on the sofa, his tie sort of undone a bit, with a woman with a high heel on a table, just standing over the top of him, with his shocked look. Yeah, I don't know what you'd be marketed that as.
Yeah.
What film is that? It looks good. I mean,
I mean, I think for a 12 in in
it's
the
a 12,
UK,
yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
just a very aggressive photo for the fun of
Mm.
the video.
Yeah, it
yeah.
seems a bit intense. The other one seems more in line with what you'd expect from a rom-com. Everyone
Yeah,
just on the front of the DVD laughing, which is,
That's it. At
comedy.
least that looks like it's
And
got a few storylines. The other
yeah,
one.
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and in
and two,
even Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone not together in the special edition, which was the poster
yeah,
I think used in most of the things.
yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That seems crazy, doesn't it? But the good thing is you then see obviously everyone that's in it and you're like, wow, I mean, it's a heavy hitting film. Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, is that
Marissa
Marissa
Tomei.
Tomei? And then the one and only Kevin Bacon. I mean, that's a great
It's a big
cast,
cast.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, and I think that I mean just personally that for me I was counting them up. So between the
Yeah.
cast,
Oh
16
yeah.
Oscar nominations and
Wow.
4 Oscar wins. It's
Blimey.
yeah, I think it's definitely the cast that elevates this above the
Yeah.
norm.
Yeah, I think you're right, because often in rom-coms you don't necessarily get a wide cast of all really high-end actors. And I feel like this is why I like this film a bit more than like those sort of traditional sort of rom-coms, in that this feels like it's an actual story and there's a bit more substance to it, and obviously the acting is good. Whereas, like that one that you were talking about, Zoe, Anyone But You, that
Yeah.
just sounds awful. So yeah, I think that's the thing for me. I think actually the acting's really good in it. I do like, and they're all like slightly different, and they've all played different characters in it. Like the characters I think are well designed, and then yeah, I think and it's just a bit different, right? I don't know. At the time, it seemed a bit different. I don't know if it would still stand up now, but yeah, I remember thinking it was very funny. And then Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell, the two of them together. are great. And then when Emma Stone comes into it, yeah. Oh, no. What about you, Andy? What was on the list then?
Yeah, so I think I went to see this at the cinema with my wife. I'm fairly sure that we went to see it because I quite like Ryan Gosling. I think he's a very good actor. I do, yeah. I'm not sure whether he's a leading man, because I don't think he's a movie star in the traditional sense. I think almost he's too good an actor to do that, and so I think that's why it kind of works.
He'll be
in
happy
this
to
film.
hear that. I'm too good to be a leading man.
You know what?
What's above leading man?
He's doing okay for himself, so I'm sure he's not going to be too disappointed when he listens to the pod. Shout out.
Yeah.
But like that's almost the funny thing about this is that him and Emma Stone, for me, like him and Emma Stone together and the scenes, that's definitely what I like about the film. But it's not the main storyline. It's not actually the main plot line, right? It's kind of the backup plot line. That to begin with, I think I remember sort of thinking like it really twists, kind of or almost sort of half an hour in, when all of a sudden I think they become the main plot line because everyone's like, wow, these two are really good together, and so then they kind of almost forget about what the story was supposed to be about. It was interesting when I mentioned to my wife that we'd got Crazy Stupid Love on the list, and a little bit of spoilers. She said, "Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's the one where they get divorced because he wears Gap jeans from the Gap and New Balance sneakers, right?" Which I think, as far as kind of cause and effect is concerned, I think that's a very interesting insight into where the blame was for the divorce.
Yeah. Well, there you go, though. That's two. I mean, obviously, it's still not statistically relevant, but we've now spoken to two women. Zoe said the same. She remembered the shopping. So, I don't know. Really, it was a big dent in New Balance's share price this year.
All of a sudden, not cool at all. And then I like it because it to a certain extent it goes against the theory of the grand gesture. I would say, and I do like there is a sort of a realism going through it, which I think makes it a bit better than a lot of rom-com fare, despite what I've been accused of a few times already on the pod. Rom-com isn't my favorite genre. I think this is the first like hour and hour rom-com in the list. I mean, obviously we've done the bottom third, so maybe.
yeah, exactly. We're getting rid of all the other ones. Yeah,
it's rom-coms.
I'm trying to remember what was your top genre? Was it not romance? I feel like it was, but you're right. It's not necessarily comedy; it's more romance.
I think there was some classifications of films in that. So to be honest,
questioning the system, never question the system.
And I also think that the title like sums up the film really well, because you sort of you hear and you say, "Oh, Crazy Stupid Love," you're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good title," and then you think about it, and you think, "Yeah, no, it does sound cool," and then you think about how it applies to the film, and you're like, "Does it actually apply to the film at all, or is there actually why have they called it?" And then you think, no, you know what? It just sounds cool. Don't think about it.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. Just okay, yeah. And I think that's the same with the film. You're like, yeah, don't overthink this. It's just nice. Yeah. Like there's a few cool scenes. Yeah. There's well put together. Yeah. I think that's as far as I would take it.
And I mean, it's almost like it was a bit of a reversal of roles, wasn't it, with the Emma Stone and Gosling? Like the scene, obviously, as we sort of alluded to, that scene back at his, and well, obviously, he takes his shot from that, and it's kind of the role reverse of him sort of undressing for her, when obviously in the olden days the films would always be she'd be undressing for him. And so I feel like it sort of plays the dynamic a little bit more, which I think is good, because to your point, Andy, they're such good actors that they really take you through those scenes really well. And obviously, not that they weren't already famous at this point, but obviously they've just become absolutely like huge now. But yeah, that at that time, I don't know, maybe they just, I don't know, is that like the first time they worked together? They just seem to riff so well off each other.
Yeah,
So,
it is. I mean, yeah, it's quite a bit before. Well, I mean, obviously, La La
yeah.
Land is where they
Yeah, I
come
was just
back.
gonna say.
Yeah, which is 2016. They're also, funny enough, in Gangster Squad, which is not a good movie.
Oh
But yeah,
wow.
that I went to
Yeah.
see. But again, they're quite good. I think is, I mean, up until this point, Ryan Gosling again, like, so he's done Drive. This came out the same year as Drive,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
obviously
Drive's a great
was,
film.
yeah, it was, and it was a big movie. Before
Yeah.
then, sort of Blue
Great clothing in
Valentine.
that as well. We should mention.
Which
Oh,
one?
an awesome scorpion. Great clothing. An awesome scorpion jacket.
Good leather jacket, getting
Was
in
it?
there.
Oh, really?
But like, yeah, like Blue Valentine, Lars and the Real Girl, Fracture is actually a really good movie. And
Oh
Half
yeah.
Nelson. Now Half
Anthony
Nelson
Hopkins.
very nearly made it onto the list because I think he's
Oh
brilliant
yeah.
in that. I've never seen The Notebook, which obviously was his kind of big one that he
No.
You've not
wrote.
seen The Notebook?
No, no, I'm not
I've
that
not
much.
seen The Notebook
I'm not
either.
that into romance. I tell you.
Guys,
Lies.
it'd be on the
Lies.
list. It, it,
Yeah.
it'd be reaching top
Hey,
10 if it's on the list.
Wow. Okay.
so you only seen half of Crazy Stupid Love, so yeah, come on.
I think I might have seen it all, but I can only remember up to that bit.
The
Yeah,
rest of
we
it's
know,
just
we
cloudy.
know.
Okay, yeah.
Honestly, he's
Right,
more than just his abs.
write some notes this time, just so you can remember the second half
Yeah.
of the movie after that scene.
Oh
And
dear.
obviously, I mean, he started his career as young Hercules, which I'm sure we've all got
Oh
the
really?
box set of. So,
Wow.
so yeah, like that's the thing. Kind of coming into this, he hadn't. I mean, Blue Valentine is kind of guy meets girl, but it's obviously, yeah, it doesn't end well for anyone. Lars and the Real
Yeah.
Girl is where he's having a relationship with a mannequin. Um,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
so that's also, yeah, not the great. And then even after this, you go through, and I think the ones where the films where he's like out and out the main person. You've got Fall
Yeah.
Guy, obviously in your
Yeah.
local theater now, sponsored
Yeah.
by them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got the
They need the
Grey.
money by the sounds of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please go out, support Hollywood.
Mm.
The Grey
Yeah.
Man, seen that?
Yeah.
Netflix.
Love that. Yeah.
Really?
Love that film. Yeah. It's a
Rubbish.
classic action movie.
Oh,
It's a perfect like hangover film, or you just like sit down mindless rubbish. And it's got Chris Evans is in it as well, right? He's
Yeah,
really good.
he's the baddie.
Yeah, I like that. I'd love to see
Yeah,
more of these.
yeah. Well,
Ryan,
and then
if you're listening.
yeah, so the Grey Man, and then he was the first man. He was Neil Armstrong. Again, like he's really
Yeah.
supposed to be good in that. And then Blade Runner, and those are sort of the
Yeah.
ones where out and out he's kind of just by himself and the
Yeah.
leading man. None of them. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
don't know if you would. I don't know. Would you? Yeah. I mean, Grey Man obviously is the leading man, but then it's just an action movie, so it doesn't really count. I guess, yeah. Barbie as well. He's in that, and maybe I
yeah.
haven't seen it, but obviously he wouldn't be the leading man in that, I guess. Or
Right,
Well,
he's
I don't
yeah,
know.
he's
just
just,
one of the leading men, one of the leading Kens.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan. I think he's done a lot of good films. I like his films.
Yeah, I know. I like his
I
films.
remember watching Drive.
Yeah, I like his films. I think
Yeah.
he's a great actor. I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very
Just maybe
watchable.
not. Yeah.
him and his abs,
What's
very watchable.
Yeah. He's very he is, you're right, he does feel like an everyman, doesn't he? So that does make him, I think, quite watchable. Like he feels like, to an extent, people can. He just feels like a normal person. I don't
Yeah,
know, that's
Yeah.
how I
like
kind
a
of
much better looking normal person, but still does have that. But like it has that like
Yes.
sort of slightly goofy persona.
Yeah.
Like when he does the press tours, he's funny
Yeah.
and yeah, it's why as we
Yeah,
spoke
it just
about.
seems more. Yeah. What about you then, Zoe? So
I'm sorry, I was just going to say he's married to Eva Mendes. They're a power couple, aren't they? Those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
The place
Yeah.
in the Pines, which again is
Oh, yeah. That was another.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
is that how they met?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so Zoe, do you remember anything else about the movie then? Anything that you're specifically looking forward to?
Um, well, it's the same scene, but when he does the lift and she like from Jessica Nelson, that's a great bit. I just think Emma Stone is great in it. I think that she's relatable because it's all like how does the geeky girl get the hot guy? But yeah, like she's really funny in it. Yeah. So
she's very good.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember like Steve Carell's really good in it as always, and that's that, and you feel for him at points where it's like, where he's going through tough times.
Yeah,
I think that those are the main things that I can remember.
Yeah, and they do a good job actually. Is that like that's so? I think what makes it a better film is that they're actually covering off some. It's not just this person's looking for their ideal love, in the classic sort of rom-com scenario. It's more, like you said, something troubling has happened. He's gone through a divorce, and it's like, how is he navigating the world in his post-divorce era, and what does he do? And I think that was why it was a bit different as well, like to your sort of traditional rom-com. And then obviously, you have like the first half of the film has all of the scenes when Ryan Gosling sort of tries to teach him how to how to be slightly different to how he is. Just give it away too many spoilers.
Just how to be better than the Gap.
That's, how to be better than the Gap.
Basically exactly. Just be better than the Gap.
Exactly. You're better than the Gap. We should definitely get a T-shirt of that.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it does well, isn't it? Is sort of the intergenerational thing. I mean, obviously, it's sort of a couple of the quotes were kind of like almost a better Love Actually. I think they're actually on the.
This is it actually, isn't it? On the on one of the cases.
Yeah, it's literally a funnier, smarter, sassier Love Actually. Which I mean, I don't think anyone should really compare themselves to Love Actually, but like what this does well is that you do have the different generations, and like everyone makes bad decisions, I think, and some of the decisions we'll probably discuss whether they hold up now, but like everyone makes bad decisions, but it is all different. It is sort of like kind of how you deal with loneliness and then a relationship at the different stages of your life, which I think is what works really well, because he's obviously going through a divorce because he's older. Emma Stone's kind of finding out that maybe where she's at, it wasn't going to make her happy when she thought it was. And then you kind of have the kids as well, right? And the sort of the younger son and the babysitter, which I'm sure we'll discuss.
We'll cover off, I'm sure. But I think you're right. There is that intergenerational piece, like that is, and it's actually, like you said, it's those different scenarios, isn't it? Which I think that's what makes it different to me.
Yeah.
But as a rom-com, it's actually covering different stories that often wouldn't have got covered off.
We've got to finish the restocking of the shelves first, guys. We can't just put it in. Can't just put it on.
Just put it straight on. Come on, it's Sunday.
I saw one review saying, and it just like casually put into it, this remake of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and again I was
wow, okay,
no, you're overthinking that. This isn't. How is this a remake of A Midsummer Night's Dream, apart from the fact that there's a few different people who fancy different people, like there's
oh right.
That's interesting, because that film I've just returned, Anyone But You, that was supposed to be loosely based on Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
See?
So
nothing's original anymore. Unbelievable.
Everything's a Shakespeare play if you really look at it.
It's true.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's no 10 Things I Hate About You or Clueless, but
true.
Yeah. Although it's so strangely, number 68 on the list is actually where I put Clueless. So in the meta universe, this can't stay at number 68. So
you can create your own podcast for this meta universe. I'm not buying into it. I'm not creating list upon list and getting into a Thanos style.
It's very simple. There's 100 slots,
Doctor Strange,
and this slot is already taken. So
no, I'm not buying into it. You keep it to yourself.
So maybe
I imagine after watching this, it will go up anyway.
Well, maybe
That's my prediction.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll finish putting these last
On that bombshell.
videos back. We'll put your film back on where find a place so that the next hunter can come in and pick it up.
In the giant romance section of the shop. Yeah.
With all
Have you
of
still
my
got the gelato?
Yeah, Kev, go and try out a gelato for Zoe, and I'll do the prediction.
Definitely could do some gelato,
and then we can settle down and we can watch it on a Sunday night. It's perfect.
I think it's everything. It's got everything.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's everything. It's a dream come true.
Yeah.
I feel like that you've made it a Disney film.
That's not one word though.
Well, it doesn't. It's sort of we're reasonably liberal. We're relaxed in this shop. You can take more than one word, but to Andy's point, you still think it stood up?
Oh, I think it stood up, and I think that most of it did. Probably 70% of it did.
Yeah.
Well, had you seen the second half? That was the big question from the first bit, right?
I actually realized that I did see it when it came out in 2011. I went to see it with my sister when she was living in Amsterdam, and I think we probably both couldn't see past the Gosling scene with the crazy stupid. Well,
yeah, you can say the abs. Yeah.
That was it. Just after that scene, you were just like, all right, well, should we go? Well, they might repeat the scene. It's unlikely they'll repeat it. Okay.
It's like, well, it's good to see you safe. I think that's enough, isn't it?
It's like the scene with Steve Carell and the teacher, where he says, what's he said? Is you're the right balance of cute and sexy.
Yeah.
And then he goes on and he talks about like his kids and stuff and that, and the scene goes on for about another minute, and she's like, "You think I'm the right balance of cute and sexy?"
Yeah, that's the only thing that registered. So good. Yeah.
Yeah. That scene sums up when Zoe and her sister saw the film. It was after Gosling's abs. Everything else was just. Just blah 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 blah.
It is an all-time scene, I would say. Like again, we can get into everything else, but like let's just talk about that scene. Yeah. It's so well put together.
It's a great scene.
I love the fact that she keeps calling him hot guy from the bar, and he's like Jacob.
Yeah.
And he's correcting her.
Yeah.
Like they have such amazing chemistry. Like the way they kind of dissolve it into the talking, which as they kind of point out is like the cliche. She even calls it, doesn't she? She even says like, oh, in the PG-13 version of this, then we're just going to end up talking all night, and I want to bang. Yeah. And then do people still say bang? And like that's the thing. Like the back and forth between them is so good, and it is just such a well put together scene. Have you seen the interview with her on the Graham Norton show where she said about her phobia? He actually did the lift the first time, and apparently she discovered that she has a phobia of being lifted up because when she was like 7, she fell off a gymnastic thing and broke both of her arms. So he describes it as what must happen if a possum falls out of a tree onto someone. Because it was just all nails and scratching. Yeah. And then she ran off and apparently watched Labyrinth to calm down, which may or may not be on the list as well. But so I think filming it was quite traumatic, but the way they put it together and just how it all works it's just a really, really good scene.
Yeah, it's so good.
Real backstory, like really interesting.
Yeah. Maybe they made it up to promote the film. I'm always a bit half and half with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Are you? Were you not a fan or?
No, just I think he's very good at as we kind of talked about on Gok and Ball Story. I think he's very good at like having the persona of like movie star as well, like very likable and stuff. And maybe that's just him. Maybe I'm doing him a disservice, but like he's very, he's a bit goofy, but he's good looking. And funnily enough, this time on the watch, I did think that they kind of overwent on the shopping scene. His character is sort of a lot worse. He's just a bit of a wancher in the shopping scene. He like that because that's why it kind of works with him picking up all the women, is because he's still sort of a bit lovable and goofy and stuff. Whereas in the shopping scene, in the sauna scene, I mean, I don't really know why the sauna scene has to happen.
Just feel comfortable with yourself. Don't worry about that. You get in the sauna and go and do that. Yeah.
My favorite line in the film is this bothering you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be. Yeah. But I don't care. Yeah.
But then he faints on him. And
that must have been such a funny scene for those two to have to do together. That must have been hilarious.
Really laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, just going back to the scene you talk about, like the lift and things like that, I think when they work that scene, why it works so well for me is a lot of the roles are reversed. So there's the point where he gets off her and he's just sort of chatting, whereas normally, it might be more like the other way around in sort of traditional rom-coms. And he's then, like, oh, can I tell you something personal about myself? And then he's the one that falls asleep and she moves the drink and then puts the blanket on him. Yeah. And it all sort of, moves around. And I think that's why I think it works so well. And obviously, like you said, they're such good actors. And I think that makes such a big difference because you really feel like it's a real scene. It doesn't feel like it's contrived. Yeah. And I think the way they reverse the roles, I think for me, that's why that scene works so well.
Yeah. Well, even the fact that it's her that goes after him at the bar, like it's her that walks in and just grabs him for the kiss. And even then, like, it's also really well shot where he's surprised and then he kind of leans into it, and they do that very well as well.
Yeah.
And so that's it. Yeah, it gives Emma Stone's character like the power in that situation, which I think as we kind of talked about a little bit over gelato, which we should really record the bits where we're just chatting over gelato because there's some cold in there.
Pod gelato is the best.
But like that's the thing, isn't it? I think that why it works is because she's actually in control of the dynamic, and that's why it works a bit better than otherwise.
And then it's the roles reversed, right? He's there, he's like half naked, and he's like, "Can I put my shirt back on?" And she's like, "No." Whereas that would all normally be the other way around, wouldn't it? Like the woman would be half naked. So I think they do that scene really well, and I think for that whole storyline, I think it really stands up, and I still think it's fine. I think all of that bit is generally okay. Maybe there's a couple of bits where questionable scenes here and there, but I think generally that whole storyline is good. The bit that I do worry, I don't even think they needed it in the film, and it's a bit weird, is the 13-year-old, the son's like I was thinking maybe they're trying to get across what it's like for a 13-year-old being at like school and then going through, his parents going through a divorce. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe the dynamics of that. But I don't think that really comes through because he starts off with his obsession with the babysitter before he hears about a divorce, and then it just sort of continues through. And I just don't think it adds anything. I just don't think you need it. And obviously it's a bit weird as well. So I don't know. That was the only thing for me I wasn't sure about anymore.
Totally agree. And I think at the end of the film, the fact that it just before the credits roll, it's the kid's face. Like, I feel like it's the main thing to end on.
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of need a scene, and apparently there is sort of a 3.5 hour cut of this film. Like, so there is a lot of stuff that they cut out to try and get it into workable shape. But considering that the first interaction you have is obviously her walking in on him under the covers, and then he's straight into like, "I love you." You're my soulmate. I think you just need you need a bit more of establishing their relationship and like establishing that she like cares for him, maybe in a babysitter way, but you need some more interaction between the two of them, because otherwise it really comes across as creepy and not good. And then is validated, right, when she gives him the photos, and that's kind of again, if there was more of a relationship there, then you can kind of that's it. You can kind of understand it, because again, it's a bad choice, but 17-year-old girls as well as 17-year-old boys make bad choices. But I think that was you're right. It's just not needed, and like for some reason he's sort of central to the entire film. Plus, also considering that he had his massive run in class, I'm not sure that you'd choose him to do the end of year speech, surely.
What was good about that speech though was when the dad, like Steve Carell, when he had that moment where he was like, no, and then you almost like completely relate to that feeling when you're like, oh, well, I've said something I don't want to say anymore, but now I'm in that moment, I need to just go with it. Like, I felt that was like great because it was just relatable.
And he's like, fire. And then he just just walks down. He has to walk past Bernie and the parents. I think Bernie's the worst character in this, though, the dad of the babysitter.
Like, really? You think he's worse than the 13-year-old?
Yeah, because just as a person, I think the character is just because he ditches his friends because they have to choose between the friends. Which is just, I mean, you just don't do that. And then he's just, and then he goes over there and tries to have a fight, but isn't really having a fight. And I just don't like Bernie. Why? Yeah, don't like him.
Yeah, you're not a Bernie fan, are you? This something we should delve into.
I think that right at the beginning when they're talking about the divorce as well, I do think that's really well done. I think it's a great line where Julianne Moore says, "I never thought I'd be this old," which I think is great. And then when she says, "I went to see the new Twilight film by myself. It was so bad." I don't know, Kev. I thought of you for some reason. I'm not sure why. Someone going to see the Twilight film on their own.
It is weird. Like, I do seem to have this reputation, but I've actually not seen any of the Twilight films. I don't know if I would like them or not. I mean, I'd happily want to like them, but I've just never seen them. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should watch them.
They're okay. If they're not on the list, are they on the list, Andy?
They are so far away from the list. It's untrue.
It's not an Andy film. That's definitely right.
I mean,
I'm not big on them either. So
I did my dissertation at university on vampires, but that's a whole other podcast. So we won't even go there.
Blimey. That is definitely for the subscribers. Will be a whole podcast just on Andy's dissertation.
I am curious to know what subject he studied.
Well, you have to pay for the subscription.
It was English literature. But over on Patreon, me reading out my dissertation.
I'm doing this on vampires. It's going to be a bit weird. We're doing economics. Are you sure that's okay?
Yeah. I mean, it fits together, right?
I'm doing it. I've worked on it already. Yeah, obviously English literature.
It's good to check, isn't it?
You just never know. It might pop up another subject.
True. It's true. I mean, nowadays it could be anything, right?
Kevin Bacon was good in that, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. The cast is great. There are 6 like big actors in this, and even though we think obviously about Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, obviously Gosling's kind of the main character, but it's Julianne Moore and Steve Carell. They're like, and you forget about those two. And those two are so good. Like you said, Andy, the opening scene about the divorce, it's so good and brutal. And when she just keeps talking about it in the car, and you're like, this is like, you should not keep talking about it, and you definitely should not have said the other guy's name. And then he's like, I'm just jumping out of this car, and you're like, I would do the same if that makes sense. But those two are great as well. I think the cast is awesome, really, really good. I don't know if you'd be able to get that volume of talent in a film nowadays. It probably costs too much money.
Yeah, well, I think even with Kevin Bacon's sort of characters, I said after watching, like, maybe he actually gets the best line in the movie, but because of the character he's playing, then he's kind of a bit part. As a result, I didn't remember the whole sort of interaction in the office between him and Julianne Moore. Like you just don't really remember that bit. because it is so secondary. But that's also good, isn't it? Because obviously there's a lot on Steve Carell and his transformation, but then they do also have scenes, and they are kind of focusing on Julianne Moore and like her struggles and like where she's at, and stuff like that. And it's not just about kind of going in to get the boy from the school, right? You actually see her in a different dynamic and stuff as well, which then does kind of pull it all together when they're in the garden. And like, I think she realizes, when she then realizes the babysitter has the crush on Cal, and that's why she said she didn't want any of her slutty money, which is, she just looks so shocked when she's like, what are you talking like? You're my babysitter. What are you talking about? You do this for money. And so when they're actually all together, I mean, even Ryan Gosling sort of being like, what are you doing here? And then Steve Carell just being like, no, you can't do this
scene.
for when it's my daughter, you can't do it. I'm fine with you picking up women all the time, but as soon as it's my daughter, you're not allowed to do it.
You're right, actually. That's super interesting, isn't it? Because you're right, he's okay with it, and then he's like, oh no, but not my daughter. And you're right, that's a very interesting point, because I don't think that he's obviously, we kind of get into his character a bit more, and it looks like he's actually not happy, and he's going through these things of picking up women, but really he's sort of going through the motions. It's not that it seems like that's not necessarily what he wants. It seems like he is quite lonely. Obviously they talk about him continually buying stuff on QVC, and so I don't like see any, there's just people in the bar just trying to find other people, right? And then so I don't see any issues with that. And so you're right, but it is funny that he's like, this is fine, but not my daughter. And they do that arc, that hidden twist. That was so good. Like, there's no, like, they obviously drop a few hints at it, but there's no way you would know, I don't think. It's so clever when it happens, and you're like, wow.
And the irony is, like, the fact that he's saying not with my daughter, but he's wearing like much smarter clothes thanks to him. Near my daughter, but how good's the jacket that I'm wearing that you?
Well, when he sees her at school, and it's like, apparently I was wearing 2 sizes two big suits for like 20 years. I would, and I do. I mean, with that part, I don't know if it's a universal thing, but definitely I went shopping with my wife for the first time, like when we were dating, and like she was like, oh, you should buy, I think I was like, oh, I need some new jeans. And then she was like, oh, like, let's go and have a look at these jeans. And I have a very clear memory of like finding out that you could spend £100 on jeans. And like before that, I was just like, but why? No, like jeans are like £30. Like what are you doing? And then
why would you do that?
And then her being like, no, this is where we should go for jeans, and you should buy like some 7s, and me just being like, but they don't make a difference. And then seeing myself in them and being like, oh yeah, no, they do actually. These actually fit. So
and you could really, like, as you said, so you could really see Steve Carell's, like, there's an obvious transformation. I mean, obviously they tried and really do it from one side to the other, but his clothes are so much better, and he looks so much better after the transformation, the shopping.
Everything that he says, and like even the jokes he makes, he's more confident. Like when he's in the bar, and like I think we've not even covered the teacher. Like, she's hilarious in it. Like so good.
Definitely. I was just gonna say, even like the Velcro on the wallet, I think is just a great touch.
That down as a favorite bit. That's one of my faves. So good.
But Marissa Tomei, is absolutely cooking in it as well. And and the great thing that her character kind of brings it all together, as you say, Kev, like she's the alcoholic, and she's gone to a bar just to meet people, right? And so like that is literally the thing that she's there to sort of say, like, no, this is fine. People, like, women are going to the bar to meet someone to kind of do, she's not there to drink. And then it's funny when she like is having a go at him in the class, and he's like, well, she's an alcoholic, and you're just like, oh, you know, you didn't go there. Oh, that's so bad.
That was so bad. And that's another great twist as well, right? I think that's why all the side characters that they introduced into this, into the film, all then come back in a really clever way. Like it's just normal rom-coms. You expect these side characters are just going to, they'll die off and you won't be in another scene. And then all of a sudden you've got like, the Emma Stone is the daughter of Cal. And then you've got, actually, like you said, the teacher is actually the woman that he slept with at the bar.
Yeah.
So those twists, I think, are great. It really brings those secondary characters to life.
Yeah.
I think she's great. And that was a really good scene.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you noticed this time, Andy, from the previous watches?
I mean, I thought a little bit more about why does he give him his shoes when he's like, can I have a look at them? When the normal thing would just be like, I mean, just like pull up your trouser a bit. Like, he would actually take off their shoes to give them to him in a mall.
Someone who wears New Balance sneakers, that sort of person.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The line that kind of creeped me out the most, which I hadn't remembered from before, was when she says, "You're the nicest dad I babysit for." And that just seems like a sad indictment on all the other dads that are they like, perving over some 17-year-old girl that babysits for them.
Yeah.
I was just
like terrible, like take your money and get out.
Exactly.
You charge so much.
Throwing the money at her, and or they're like, no phone calls or no ice cream. I mean, I suppose mobile phones now. That was always that was always the best bit of babysitting. You just ate someone else's ice cream, right?
Yeah, just get through it all. I
had a question.
Wonder if that's just like the biggest thing for parents. It's like just the disdain. It's not the babysit. It's just the fact they have to pay money because they've got kids and they have to go out. It costs extra money, and you're like, ugh.
It adds a lot of money to a night out, as Drew said.
Yeah.
I had a question for you, Kev. For comparing the montage of him picking up women or the montage from the other guys, which one would you rather be in? The bar when he's picking up all the women, or the other guys?
Am I in it? Is this part of my? Am I actually in real life? This is happening to. Oh, if it's happening to me, obviously the one where it's picking up all the women. Why not? I mean, that'd be amazing. But I think in terms of the scenes, the other guy's scene is so clever and it's so well shot. I really like that scene. I forgot that they had that in there. You'll have to watch that. Sorry, but I think the montage of him picking up the women and then I think I was concerned. I wasn't sure if that was going to hold up, but I feel like it does hold up. I didn't think there was anything too bad in there that I thought of. It seems to be I think the first scene with Gosling and Emma Stone as well was brilliant. When he comes over and he's just giving her nice compliments. She's like, oh, you're doing pickup lines. He's like, no, it's not pickup lines. I was just standing there over there for the last 2 hours looking at you and I think you're beautiful. And I'm like, that's just a nice compliment. But because she's not on it, she's just firing back him left, right, and center, and he doesn't really know where he's going or what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think that's a great scene. That's such a good scene. I really like that. And that, I thought he wasn't creepy. He was coming along and trying to chat to someone in a bar, and but obviously she was just like pushing it all back, like no.
Yeah, and I mean just the snappiness of the what are you, a lawyer? Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Permission to approach the bench, and you're just like, that's good. It's done well there.
And when her best friend calls her, and she was like, "You should be studying the ceiling of his bedroom." That was.
Well, I really like the best friend. She's great. She's great throughout.
Hilarious. Yeah.
She's a really good character in it as well.
She spares us the law professor story from the boyfriend, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Although I think at one stage she says, "Well, if that's all you can get, what about me?" And I'm a bit like, "Well, I'm not sure. Like, you're no less attractive than Emma Stone." So I feel like, and you're like, "Well, if that's the best you can get, like, what am I going to get?" And you're a bit like, "Well, that's a bit."
Is that what she says?
Yeah. I think that's a bit of a cliche of a like rom-com cliche, right? The best friend.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they do seem a couple of times they seem really aware of the cliches. So they're trying to go. It's the same when it starts raining after the school bit, and he actually says what a cliche, and then stands in the rain, which it just isn't very nice. Like no one stands in the rain in real life because it's just cold and wet, and miserable.
And like when he does the lift and then it starts raining as well.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. But that's great. Everyone loves that bit.
Yeah. One of my favorites is when they are like natural after they have slept together and they're just laughing and chatting, and then when she says about the massage chair and she's like, you haven't really got one, and he's like, yeah, I bought it on the shopping channel. And then when they actually sat in it, like, it's hilarious.
Yeah. She's like,
this is awful.
Yeah, she's just like, this is terrible. It's like,
yeah. And that's the thing. He has a quote in there. Then they sort of it's like a throwaway line, which I think now would be a bit more of a deeper line and they'd focus on it all. But he says, because they're talking about him buying stuff on the shopping channel, and he said, "Yeah, I'm wildly unhappy. I'm trying to buy it and it's not working."
Yeah,
and that's like a really good telling line. But they kind of gloss through it a little bit because it's not, obviously it's like supposed to be a rom-com. You're not supposed to worry that the guy might be lonely and be feeling things. But I think that's good. They start to sort of ease that in to be like, yeah, you know, he clearly isn't happy. Like everyone might look at this guy and think, like, guys might think, oh, it's great. He's picking up women all the time. He's got all this money. He's got this stuff.
Just chilling at void, like.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, he's not actually happy. So it's I thought that was an interesting line.
Yeah, I do, and that's the thing. I think with the entire film, it's the two scenes. It's that scene, and then it's the scene in the back garden where it kind of the reveal is there, and then David Lynn Hardy comes in, and it kind of brings together. Those two scenes are so strong that I think then the rest of the movie kind of. Yeah, I think the rest of the movie has some wobbles, but those two scenes are just so good that it's. And in the garden scene, I really like the Ryan Gosling punches Kevin Bacon for his friend.
Yeah.
And he takes his ring off so that he's not going to do too much damage. And and he straight away, he's the one that's like, you hurt my friend. And I think that's just a really nice moment for Gosling.
Like that.
Yeah.
I love that one as well.
And then when they're all trying to fight him and they're like just grappling him, and it's like, what are you even holding? Like,
like Gosling's just like, what is it? It's like a cuddle. What's happening here? Yeah, that is actually, you forget how funny that scene is.
I do think it's clever how they, like, her name is Hannah, but they call her Nana, and then like that's how it's all like kind of mixed in that, like, because as you guys know, I only remembered the first half of the film. So when Kev was like, "Do you remember the plot twist?" and I was like, "No, what plot twist?" and then I was like, "Oh, this was it." Yeah, I do like this. Yeah,
and so, they dropped that a lot more in the first half of the movie than I remember as well. When you're like almost watching for it, they do say that, like, have you called Nana? Yes, she's worried about us, and like it comes up like 2 or 3 times. Whereas I think the first time I watched it, I was like, but they haven't mentioned their daughter at all. But then I think it is more. They do get it in there nicely.
Yeah, it is good. I do like that bit. How did you describe this to the aliens, Andy? I struggled with this. I wasn't really sure. What did you go
really?
for?
I mean, I just went, it's the classic girl meets boy, girl rejects boy, girl gets offered job, girls find boys, boy lifts girl, girl and boy don't bang and live happily ever after. Did you not go for that? I thought that's...
okay.
I mean,
that definitely sounds like a Disney plot. I think we're in.
I mean, I presume that's
a good
on
summary.
That's on the DVD somewhere. The other half was also, I vote for Ryan Gosling being sent to the aliens as a charm offensive, because I think out of any,
nice. I like that.
You know, he's going to be best. So I know that you're pushing for me to do it because I have this relationship with him already, but
you are the Gosling for the aliens. Well, I mean, it will be you. It's just that he might be playing you.
We're going to end the podcast there.
You'll be in the Pentagon. You'll be in the Pentagon, and then they'll be like, because they don't know what we look like, because it's only audio, and they'll be like, you'll be sitting there having to teach Gosling. I'll be like, no, you don't say it like that. Say it like this, and he'll be playing you. What a dream!
That's not quite.
I'll get like Danny DeVito or someone. I'll be like, what have I got?
That's not quite an Andy movie. If they ask about it, you have to say about it in this way.
Oh,
yeah. You have to pretend that it's a good thing. It's not. You understand it's not, but you have to pretend that it is. So listen to this. This is what IMDb have got it as, and I think this is. If you read this, I don't think you would understand exactly everything that happens in this film. A middle-aged husband's life changes dramatically when his wife asks him for a divorce. He seeks to rediscover his manhood with the help of the newfound friend Jacob, learning to pick up girls at bars. I'm like, that's like the first 30 minutes. Like that's not the film.
no.
It's a weird description, isn't it? I'm like, it's not about that at all. It doesn't bring in like anything about the second half of the film really. But I said to the aliens, people catch up in bars, they have sex, then it turns out they all know each other. That's what I went with. I wasn't really sure on that one.
That makes it seem like the people who have sex, like, then find out they know each other, which is.
Hey, look, you've got to watch the film and find out. You know, the aliens are intrigued. It's got a big good tagline. They're like, "What? Really? As in they're related?"
You didn't go for explaining love to
each other.
You know, explaining love to the aliens. You know, you could.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about this movie is they don't dwell, they don't over. It's not like the cliche sort of love part that they add in. So they, you know, at the end they could easily have said, "Oh, you know, Steve Carell and Julianne Moore could get back together," but they don't. They leave it open. They're like, you know, maybe they reconnect, maybe they get back together, maybe they don't. And I think that's what I like because it's not like a happy ending of, you know, everyone just gets back together and you all, you know, you meet someone at 15 and that's, you know, your soulmate and you stay with them forever. It's like, no, it's all a bit more complicated than that. And, you know, I guess the good thing, you know, the thing that they show or Gosling shows about Steve Carell is like, this might be your soulmate, but how much effort have you been putting into, you know, being with your soulmate? And that's the thing. It's not just about, oh, you're soulmates. You've got to work at relationships as well. And I feel like they do that.
Yeah, it was that around like, what do you take away from what question does the film answer? And I was like, well, nothing's perfect. Things take work, but if people are willing to make conscious intention, then that's the main thing, really.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, with my wife saying that this is a film that they get divorced because he wears New Balance sneakers and bad clothes, right? And so you know, that's they do show that well, where she's just like unhappy, and then he realizes that he hasn't been putting in the effort as well, for sure, which I think is good. I mean, I had for the question that I think it's an interesting one about kind of confidence, and I think that's like it kind of shows that I think with Ryan Gosling at the beginning, it's that, you know, people are attracted to confidence, but then actually it kind of turns out that it's not just kind of showy confidence. Actually, it's the confidence to be yourself that actually is attractive, right? And that's why Emma Stone's actually attracted to him in the end, is because he's actually being himself rather than just sort of a show of confidence. And I think they do that really well. Where again with Steve Carell, it's like I think you can overlay like his manhood and stuff like that, but actually he becomes a lot more confident in himself, and like clothes can help with that. But he's just more like, you know, this is me. This, you know, I am going to fight for this. I'm not going to fight for this. Or like, you know, I'm more than just being a dad and a husband. And I think that's I think it does show that well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like, because Emma Stone is herself as well. She's playing a part, obviously, as an actress, but in the film, like, she's being herself in the scene where they are together, and like that's what's drawing him more to her, that she's like a bit goofy and probably bringing him out of his shell a bit more as well, which is good.
There is a great she goes on Conan O'Brien to sell the film, and so that's quite funny. He just plays the clip where they're talking about her wanting to sleep with Conan O'Brien, and it's
that was good.
I mean, the other big question obviously is, what's your big move? I think that's
I mean, he's got a good one. That is a good, and I love the way they do that whole scene, because obviously she's sort of a bit nervous, but then she's sort of giggling a bit like nervously, and obviously she just had the drinks, and then she's like, "Come on, what is your big move?" Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I know it's stupid, but it always works. It's like, and what I'd love to know is how many moves did he try before he got to that? And, you know, did he just go through Swayze's back catalogue and then he was like, which one should I go through first? I mean, Swayze would have been a good person to sort of to monitor yourself on. That would have been a good start.
He did a roundhouse kick here a few times, and it's like, no, roundhouse, no, not a big move. Cross that one off.
Work, no. Did some like yoga in his trousers. That didn't work either. And then he settled on. I mean, I guess he probably bought a pottery wheel, but maybe that was just a bit too much.
It's really difficult to get that in as a big move.
It's a good question.
Have you ever done pottery before?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let me show you. Yeah. Was there any genre that you thought you could change this to?
I mean, my thing for changing it, I think the soundtrack could be better. I think it's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I quite like the soundtrack.
I really know. I thought they could be. I think they could be better songs. I don't know.
Is there a scene that you'd replace with a different banger?
I just think that there's the only one that I remember. The only song that I ever remember from this is when she walks back into the bar. But I think even for the montage for Steve Carell and like other things, I don't know. I didn't think the soundtrack was that strong. But evidently, I need to go on to Spotify and listen.
You're too involved in the film. You can't you're not listening to the songs. You're so involved in the romance.
I'll have to have another listen. I
guess there aren't any huge bangers, but
John Legend.
So what were you thinking? More romantic songs or like bigger?
Yeah,
John Legend's a bit, middle of the road.
I don't think that's where Zoe was going with John Legend comment.
No, I was thinking it was one of the first songs on there.
I don't think that's where John Legend was hoping I'd go either.
You're just making you make these Twitter spats every week. You end up in some sort of vendetta. The other thing I would say, just don't. She doesn't give him the photos at the end. I think that's that's just a bad look. So those are things that I would swap out. How about you guys?
Oh yeah. I think I would just swap out that whole storyline. That one with the dad, because I feel like there's just enough good stuff in there, and enough good, even like good plot, good storytelling, and messages throughout that you don't even need that really. But having said that, I do like the bit where the dad gets up at the school speech at the end, like just purely for the fact that it's that. Do I get up and say this now? Yeah, well, I'm here now.
In front of Marissa Tomei as well, which I think is where she's giving the bird. It's like thanks for that.
Oh yeah, actually, having said that, if you swap out like the little boy, teenage boy's storyline, then you wouldn't have the teacher, would you?
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can still have the kid in it, and she could still be in it. It's just you don't need to follow him, right?
Yeah.
In the same way that you don't follow the younger daughter, right? And so I don't think you need to follow him. I'd be really interested to see what this 3-hour like edit looked like, because I'm like, what? Because I do think they could have had a few extra scenes with him and the teacher at different times. I think they could have expanded more of the scenes potentially with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. And then they probably could have expanded some of the scenes with Kevin Bacon and Julianne Moore. But, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, it's an hour and 15, I think, or nearly 2 hours. And with the scenes, I know I guess they're trying to offer some light relief and change it up a bit with the 13-year-old storyline. But I just really don't. For me, it just felt boring. I was like, you just don't need these. You could cut this down to an hour and 30. And it would be really tight and really good. So I'm like, God knows what's in the 3-hour version.
Yeah, well, I think they're sort of going for a bit of Love Actually, right? I think that's they're being heavily influenced by that, of having the different, and I think sort of the angle of the parents, the sort of older kids, just sort of meeting someone, and then the teenage first time they've been in love and stuff. But I don't think it works.
True. Yeah, in the same way that Love Actually doesn't work as well.
Oh, yeah, that film worked Andy, I think it's number 3 on your list, is it?
Yeah, Love Actually. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about Love Actually now. If you watch it now, there's
it's so bad.
All sorts of questions.
Yeah. It's awful. It's one of the worst Christmas movies.
And it wasn't even featured on our Christmas movie episode all those months ago. So
yeah, as well, it shouldn't have been. I wouldn't have done it if it was.
Damn it. I've still not seen Die Hard.
Well, you know, you're missing out. You're too busy wasting your time with Love Actually.
You need to just come down the shop. We have Die Hard on repeat.
Yeah, it's just on one of the TVs all the time. What about any other favourite lines? I think we covered off most of them. Any others from you, Zoe?
Yeah, I've got a couple. So sitting there with a super cuts haircut made me laugh, like when they go shopping.
Yeah.
And then, but like it was sweet when he said, "This wife of yours, she'll rue the day she ever decides to give up on you." It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then
of course, then yeah.
When Cal's in the bar, so Steve Carell, and he goes, I wouldn't if my wife depended on it. So like,
I wouldn't touch it. Yeah.
I wouldn't touch you. I couldn't read my word touch. So I wouldn't touch you if my wife depended on it. That was it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's all in the delivery. It's all in the delivery. Yeah. Smashed out of the park.
I would say so. Yeah, the Kevin Bacon line, which might be the best line in the movie.
Yeah.
He says to Julianne Moore, "I'm an accountant who's waking up every morning excited to go to work." That doesn't happen for accountants ever. I checked with other accountants, and I just think that's a great line. I definitely didn't see that the first time. I love as you say, when they first meet, she says that's a double negative, and he just says you're a double negative. I think that's like the playfulness. I think it's funny that when the babysitter's asking her friend, and she's like, "Well, how old is he?" And she's like, "Old, Aaron old."
Yeah,
and he's 44 in the film.
Yeah,
so let's just leave that out there. And then also when the teacher's first talking about like what she's done in her life, he says, "England, yuck." That was quite.
Oh yeah.
That was quite funny.
Yeah, that's a really good scene as well. Like that's really clever. I like that. There actually I've just written down. There was another line that I remembered, which is actually a really good scene when the his boss is talking to him in his cubicle, and he's like, "Oh yeah, are you okay? You seem like really down." And he's like, "Yeah, have you got cancer?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're getting a divorce." And then he leaves, and the boss shouts out to everyone across the room, "Everyone, it's okay. It's just a divorce." And he's just like. And that is a good scene that they did. I reckon they probably could have added a few more scenes with him in. But it was good. Yeah, I did enjoy it. But now let's get on these reviews. Let's get some 3 stars out.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, not all that many 3 stars. A couple of them. One of them was just okay. 3 stars. Thanks for that. Informative.
Okay.
Thanks
I mean, that is what a 3-star review should say.
Yeah, it's doubling up. It's doubling up a bit.
Yeah.
Someone said good film, weird story though. I'm not sure. Is it a weird story? I feel like it's quite a normal story.
Yeah. Other than the teenage son bit, I think the rest of it's.
But I wouldn't say that's weird. Teenager obsessing an older girl. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's
No, I think you're right. I think it just comes across a bit, especially it does. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, they do try to get through that, don't they? Like,
it's not weird though.
As a teenager, but no, that's true. It's just there are some of the things that I don't know. Do they feel weird? I mean, the photos is weird. But yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I feel like we're overthinking this 3-star review, but not the best of films. Okay to watch on a rainy day when you have nothing better to do.
I mean, blimey,
it does rain a lot.
Do you know what? We rarely get 3-star reviews that are actually 3-star reviews, where people write a middle of the road review because it's 3 stars. Normally, it's a 5-star review, but they give it 3, or it's a 1-star review, but they give it 3. These are actually 3-star reviews. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. One person says the film uses modern technology a good deal, which was really bizarre.
What?
I mean, there's not all that
the
much.
massage chair?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the modern technology is. There's a lot of BlackBerry, isn't there? So
yeah, too much.
And then one of them. There is one scene of surreal mayhem in a garden that is effectively out of control, and Julianne has her moments. The film tapping into her extreme loveliness at certain points, particularly the last scene. I also thought Ryan Gosling rather similar on the male side. Really very appealing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Big,
nice. Really liked both of them.
Yeah.
3 stars.
Yeah. Julianne Moore and Ryan Gosling. It's a bit strange to pull those two out and no one else. That was I counted. That was a 352 word review. That was directly underneath the one that just said okay. So maybe it was like a reaction to that one.
Could well be.
Because I personally thought that her acting was like great throughout, but that scene just I cringed a bit. I don't know. I think it was the facial expressions or
I
thought it was over.
The garden scene.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
But
maybe she didn't. Do you think they probably would have done quite a few takes, and she's I'm over this now. Come on, guys. who keeps laughing or like?
Maybe that's what's in the 3.5 hours.
yeah. That's the extended one. Yeah, where they actually have to complete the crazy girl before they have the fight.
No, but I did love it. I thought she was great in that when she called him about needing help with the pilot light.
It's a really nice scene.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
She clearly didn't help, but she's obviously missing him.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also funny that his biggest nightmare is another man mowing his lawn. That's actually what he's most worried about, and that he's actually sneaking in just to look after the lawn. I think is a great touch.
Yeah.
So what films did you think it was similar to? I mean, lots of rom-coms to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Love Actually, obviously. I also put Hitch. Some similarity there, because it's sort of about picking people, try. It's sort of like almost like dating coach type thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think
that's actually Ryan Gosling's wife.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Mendes,
perfect. Yeah. Movie universe. full circle.
Yeah.
Did you have any, Zoe?
Not really, but now the question's out there, I'll probably say my instant reaction was like 10 things I hate about you, but more because it's like picking faults at someone when really you actually just want to make it work.
Yeah.
So that's
classic. Yeah. I mean, the algorithm picked up It's Complicated.
Okay.
Presumably because it's older people. Must Love Dogs. I'm not gonna even.
Don't know that one.
Anyway, Wedding Crashes, which it's definitely not like.
Oh.
No.
And The Breakup, which is again, I think that's like keyword matching rather than actually. So I think the algo's missed a trick there, because I think Hitch is like exactly the same, right? Because it is supposed to be about someone who like is confidence and is helping people pick people up, and then like realizes that actually they're lonely and stuff. So I'm awarding that to the humans.
Yes. What's the scores on the doors?
Yes.
That's 17-14 to us. So we move.
Yes.
We move.
Yeah. Really?
We move. It's almost
getting close.
Almost like you don't listen to these podcasts.
Yeah, Zoe.
I was too busy thinking that the robots must love Vince Vaughn, because isn't he in The Breakup?
Yeah,
and
Wedding Crashes especially is the tone of Wedding Crashes is like this. So
no, I don't think that works at all.
No.
Excellent. So we're pulling away. Good.
No.
All right then, Andy. So it's on the list. Is it moving up, or is it staying where it is?
Well, as we talked about, so we do already have a number 68, so we can't stay at 68. That's actually Colour of Money. I think I said earlier that it was Clueless for Clueless, actually a little bit below. I did still like it. I think maybe it's a film that you can watch 2 scenes from, and those 2 scenes are remarkably better than everything else. So I would have it shuffle back down to like where it would be, considering that there's other films above it. So that would be at number 76. Still, you know,
Wow.
still a good score. It's still good. I still really enjoyed it.
What's it in between?
That puts it. Oh, now I'm gonna have to. That puts it just above Kubo and the Two Strings, and no, just. Kubo and the Two Strings, brilliant. There's a podcast about it. You should definitely check it out. No, just below Kubo and the Two Strings and above Cock and Balls. How about you? Where does it sit on your?
Yeah, I had it. I got it pretty high up. Yeah, I've got it. I put it in high. I've got it at number 4. Okay. Just below the classic that is known as Night and Day, and just above our old favourite, Limitless.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Didn't you?
Firmly in the top.
I thought you put the Lunchbox in at number 4 last week.
Lunchbox. Where did Lunchbox go? Oh, you're true. This I haven't. Yeah. It's a problem.
Oh no.
The double list issue has become an issue.
This is why the robots.
The
robots will win.
Yeah, they're taking us over.
I was just going to say that this is ranked higher than Airplane for me as a podcast.
I think that's fair. I think this is definitely a better film than Airplane.
Yeah. The acting in it is just so good.
I would say the amount of gags per minute though. Comparing, if you've got the top trump card, you'd obviously you'd lose on pretty much everything apart from gags per second, and then that's the one that you want to choose for Airplane. But everything else, Crazy Stupid Love wins.
You're right. How good would it be? Maybe we should do top trumps of these movies, and one of them would obviously be is an Andy movie. You get
an Andy score.
An Andy score, and it would be in the shape of your head. Score. Yeah. Well, there we have it.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah. Everyone enjoyed it. Thanks again, Zoe, for coming down to the shop. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, you know, we're excited to see what the next movie is that you take out. Thanks to Tom Evans for the theme song, and congratulations on getting married to another guest from the pod as well. Obviously, we'll make it up that they met at the shop, and you know, it was the first longplay video marriage.
Oh wow!
You know,
the first longplay video marriage.
Yeah, we're just doing shout outs to people now. We've had birthday celebrations, we've had weddings. Please do contact us on Instagram, longplay video, if you want a shout out on the show. We're happy to do we're happy to do these shout outs whenever we want. Obviously, we do record these a little bit before we actually put them out, so none of them are on time. But you know, if you've got something coming up in 4 or 5 weeks, then just let us know. For next week, next week is the highest grossing film on the list. So we're not going to have a quote, but it's not by far. I would say I was surprised that there was other ones that was close, but yeah. Next week we go full on blockbuster, not the DVD rental store, but the film. So
you guys,
it's definitely going to be up your street, Kev. Got explosions, got fight scenes, got the whole 9 yards. So
does it have Gosling's abs in? That's the only thing we're missing now.
I think I mean, you'll have that on your dual screening, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, good.
Well, thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.